It's widely assumed that Russia and China are allies, and the partnership stemmed from having a common goal, that is, to counter the USA. This narrative is true to an extent, but has its own complexity. China's long-term goals may very well be decremental to Russian interests. Though Russia has been careful not to voice concerns about China, the Russian power circle knows very well that China is not a friend and could actually turn into a foe in the long term. According to the report published by the Stockholm International Peace Research Institute, SIPRI, Russia spent $69.2 billion on defense in 2016, whereas China spent $215 billion in the same time period. In 2019, the report stated that Russian defense spending was $65.1 billion, whereas that of China was $261 billion. So the gap is getting widened, and it has many ramifications. In this video, Defense Updates analyzes why assuming Russia will help China in war is wrong. Let's get started. This video is sponsored by War Thunder, the most comprehensive military vehicle online game for PC, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One, in which you can go to battle on more than 1,200 playable aircraft, tanks, helicopters, and ships from the 1930s to the 1990s. The game has an amazing attention to detail and focuses on a realistic combat experience, which is why knowing your vehicles and skill really makes a difference. It's easy to get into, and all you need to play is nothing more but your mouse and keyboard or controller. Immerse yourself in cross-platform combat with more than 20 million other military vehicle enthusiasts from all over the world. Download and play War Thunder for free using the link in the description below, and also get a free bonus tank, aircraft, or ship, and 3 days of premium account. In early June 2017, reports from Russian media indicated that yet another ground forces missile brigade received the dreaded Iskander M missile system. The brigade was the 29th Army's newly established 3rd Missile Brigade, based in Russia's enormous Eastern Military District. It must be noted that Russia's Eastern Military District is basically directed at China. The Iskander M is a mobile, short-range ballistic missile system produced and deployed by the Russian Federation. The missile systems are to replace the obsolete OTR-21 Tochka. Russian Defense Ministry plans to phase out all Tochka system by 2020. Iskander M is a tactical missile system designed to be used in theater-level conflicts. Iskander M system is equipped with 2 solid propellant single-stage guided missiles. Each missile in the launcher vehicle can be independently targeted in a matter of seconds. Iskander M travels at a hypersonic speed of around Mach 6, carries a warhead of 750 kilograms or about 1,650 pounds, and has a range of 500 kilometers or 310 miles. It's rumored that during flight, it can maneuver at different altitudes and trajectories and can turn it up to 30 G to evade anti-ballistic missiles. The system is very versatile. It's designed to carry both conventional or nuclear warheads. The missile can be aimed at both moving and stationary targets. So the weapon could be used to take out command posts, communications center, radar installations, as well as ground troops. Since the system is road mobile, it's very hard, if not impossible, to take it out with a preemptive strike. Iskander M can also be used for nuke delivery. Its ability to deliver nuclear payloads strengthens Russia's nuclear de-escalation doctrine, which aims to deter a rival from engaging in a confrontation by threatening to retaliate with a limited nuclear strike. Placing an advanced system like Iskander M against China clearly indicates that Russia feels it needs to guard against Chinese forces. Iskander M is Russia's way to level the playing field with asymmetric capabilities. Russia and China had a deal through which China would acquire Su-27s. Russians claim that the Chinese began violating licensing terms almost immediately by installing their own avionics on flankers under Chinese designation J-11. The deal fell apart after about half of the Su-27s were sent to China, and Moscow accused Chinese manufacturers of replicating the jet under the names J-11 and J-11B. This is not the only example. J-15 Flying Shark is a derivative/illegal copy of the Russians' Su-33, which was originally based on the Sukhoi 27 airframe. But the copying has been done with limited success due to complex engineering involved, and J-15 Flying Shark is referred to as flopping fish for its inability to operate effectively from the Chinese carrier. Russia is conscious of Chinese rampant reverse engineering. Over the years, China has copied several Russian weapon platforms with total disregard for intellectual property rights and contractual obligations. The Chinese have often bought limited quantities and then reverse engineer the weapons. The impact of these copies is so large that some quarters of the Russian power circle objected to sell the S-400 air defense system to China. The deal was eventually sealed after Russian analysts felt that S-400 is too complicated to copy. Russians are so fed up that recently they expressed their frustration publicly, which is rare since the relation between Moscow and Beijing is good. Russian state defense conglomerate Vostok accused China of illegally copying a wide range of Russian weapons and military hardware. Yevgeny Levadny, Vostok's chief of intellectual property projects, on December 14th, said, "Unauthorized copying of our equipment abroad is a huge problem. There have been 500 such cases over the past 17 years. China alone has copied aircraft engines, Sukhoi planes, deck jets, air defense systems, portable air defense missiles, and analogs of the Pantsir medium-range surface-to-air systems." China can go to any length to achieve its objectives, and countries which are not even its rival have to be careful. Russia harbors no misconceptions about China in this regard. It's understood that Russian weapons technology in the Chinese hand could one day be used against Russia. The main reason Russia is continuing to sell weapons to China is purely for monetary needs. International sanctions and a lackluster domestic economy have forced Russia into this kind of compromise where its short-term needs are outweighing long-term risks. Also, over the years, China has been slowly growing less and less dependent on Russia, which is reducing Russian leverage even more. Russia's armed forces commenced the operational strategic exercise Vostok 2014 in the Russian Far East, which, like the earlier Vostok 2010, contained robust indications that the Russian strategists continued to consider China a potential threat. Vostok 2014 focused on command and control, coordination, improvement in operational agility. It included rehearsals for the use of conventional and nuclear missile systems. The large-scale exercise saw the deployment of strategic bombers, cruise missiles fired from sea and air, as well as submarines and Iskander M. It was clear that Russia wanted to send a strong message that it was willing to take steps to defend its territory. President Vladimir Putin's decision to order a snap inspection of combat readiness in the Russian Far East ahead of the actual exercise suggested that there were distinct risks of conflict with China in the long term. From the 11th to the 17th of September 2018, Vostok 2018 was held. The exercise involved units from the Russian Army, Air Force, and Navy. Sergei Shoigu, Russian defense minister, had stated at that time, "Imagine 36,000 military vehicles moving at the same time, tanks, armored personnel carriers, infantry fighting vehicles, and all of this, of course, in conditions as close to a combat situation as possible." China and Mongolia were also included in the exercise and became the first countries outside of the former Soviet Union to join the Vostok exercises. The inclusion of China, as per many military analysts, was done to pacify one of its major arms importers. Also, some other analysts have stated that it was done so as to give China a glimpse of Russian capabilities so that it acts as a soft deterrent.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more videos like this. Hit the like button if you find the video interesting, and kindly provide your feedback in the comment section. This will help us improve.